That's how awesome we traded Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right, so look at what I got for you. Here we go. 4 paths, all end at 7,000. The key here is now, how do you screw the most people? Okay? And I would approach this from the biggest way, wave A, B, C, and D. Okay? The big thing is gonna be to choose wisely. So we had that big sell, we spent all this time, blah 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 blah. It all resulted in us hitting the upper Bollinger Band. We had this big sell, we've been buying the dip and riding this and making crazy money. Now watch this channel. I'm just gonna show you how important this channel is. It was the rejection spot into the depths of hell. And as you can see, it's broadening and broadening and broadening. Where does it all go? If you knew, it goes down to the October low of 2023, and same setup, just like Liberation Day. Basically it's this July 23 high, all culminating in a what you might want to call a crescendo right here. It's getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and it'll probably close up somewhere in January, right? So again, we overshot this channel. We got the 3 3 3 3, very 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 tricky algo. And just to recap, where have we seen that before? Post election into this. You're gonna start seeing a lot of posts about, you know, this algo, and then just dumping here. The fact is, hedge funds just came out, I think it was in the top 3 of buying ever down here. So while you feed the peasants, the fucking tofurkey eating, NFL watching, left right indoctrinated cockroaches a narrative that the economy is the best ever, and you are choosing which economic data you put out and which you don't, you can always say the stock market's at an all-time high, right? Here, soybeans. Oh, we're doing deals with China. We're doing deals with China. This sell, not a fucking peep from the White House. Not a single comment from Scott Bessent. Nothing. See my note, AI/Japan. Well, what has happened since we closed on Wednesday? President Trump called the new Prime Minister of Japan to tell her that she needs to tone down her rhetoric regarding Taiwan. Why is this significant? Well, this plays into the AI race. This pretty much confirms that whenever President Xi is gonna annex Taiwan, he's gonna do it and nothing ever will be done about it. How do you know? If you can't put James Comey behind bars, you can't do shit to President Xi. If you can't stop the war in Russia and Ukraine, you can't do shit to President Xi. Okay? Instead, you get 2 National Guardsmen gunned down in DC. Whether this guy is connected to a 3-letter agency or not doesn't really matter. That's the narrative being fed. Why? Because AI and the surveillance state needs to have an excuse to surveil. Because again, We don't know who Biden let in and all this shit, right? Okay, all valid points, but manipulated? Abso-fucking-lutely. So, Friday. What has changed from Nvidia from here to here? Absolutely nothing. Earnings ripper, sell off, double bottom. One of my main watches into the end of the year. One of the main vehicles to get higher. Meta, we obviously played this, and on Wednesday I sold all my calls here. It never took it out. It double topped. It's just burning. We gotta kind of wait and see on this where the gamma settles. But again, absolutely epic. Has gone through here, probably needs to retest at some point, which brings me closer to what we're looking at. What is it doing? It's already sold off, had the pop, now it's making an egg, means that it's clamping down on volatility, and then it'll rip. This is probably my number one setup for end of year. Okay, you know that if you pay attention. Okay, hello, dabbled in this. Lily, what the fuck is Lululemon, dude? My point is, and I'll go through this in the market analysis on Saturday, and they're gonna start running through shit like this. 423 yoga pants, 181. Okay, cool, but like, make it make sense. I'll make it make sense for you right now. If you're badass enough to skip the Tofurky and watch this, this is for you. We're halfway through the Santa rally. Is there anyone on the internet besides us on the moon train that's been buying calls for 4 days straight? Just, I don't know, point them out to me. Buying puts or buying calls based on emotion works for a while. You get lucky. You get as unlucky. There's a method to this madness. This is the reason I started the Discord, for people not to get fucked, for people to wake up to the world they live in. When you accept the facts of the world you live in, you can look after yourself and your family better, and your mind and your health, and have a dream. If you don't have dreams as a human, you run out of fuel. If you're just looking at a screen and you're not bored and you're never forced to think, you're docile. You are the same. You're not even a turkey. You're a fucking Tofurky. Don't be a Tofurky. Be a living being. Jobs numbers are draining harder than that bathtub you pulled the drain on as a kid a long time ago. You need to zero in on this and make it happen for yourself. If you don't feel like you're in the zone, as motivation, there's plenty of people on the train who are in the zone and who are there every day doing it. If you need more motivation, okay, you do need to make a decision between, are you going to be a trader who pops in and asks, is there a trade? Or are you going to dedicate that extra to this to fully understand what's going on, right? That's up to you. Everybody is in a different life situation. Everybody makes different choices. Okay? QBTS. What's the difference between 46 and 6 and 22? Nothing. It's a computer game. Get better at learning the computer game. How do you read the computer game? It's got a bunch of components telling you where it's gonna go, and it's based on those and the news. But the number one thing is the equation of all the factors and the premiums. because we are not on the moon train trading shares, we're trading premiums, right? Again, great example, one of the best trades of the week, 271% right there. Okay, the difference between a successful trader and a bad trader is patience, discipline, patience, discipline, and the realization that you are trading against yourself. Now, I know a lot of people on the moon train didn't do what I did, and that's completely fine, but there's a reason. Remember here, was it Friday? I took 664s for Monday, and then on Tuesday I flipped to 688s. I'm still holding them. I like to conquer my mental side with having a base position, because I know we're riding. I'm just not gonna sit there and watch the chart go up and up and up, or down and down and down, and not have a base position. Same thing when we had the big short on 1010. I had puts a week out in the money. That just fits my mentality. And then I'll scalp up and down along the way, always remaining this, right? So it's all in how you approach it. Now, individuals, we got plenty of ghost candles. It's showing both ways. There's phantom prints, there's this and that. I come back to what is the pain trade, and I think it's pretty obvious right now. If they bought a shit ton here, and the thing I want to point out is most of it was dark pools. It wasn't even registered. The registered shit showed that this was a top 3 buy of all time. I'm almost thinking you can just melt up here. Now, tomorrow we will know more, but I mean, I swung calls. It looks good. I've traded more half days than anyone I know, and they're usually the same. So how much will you allow yourself to feel the market? There's not a single person on the internet that's gonna act as trading dad and tell you to always be 90% cash. Why do I say that every day? From experience. Okay? So you can either take me at my word and be religious about it, because I say it for a reason. When I have 90% cash, it allows me to take stabs way more than other investors or traders, and those are calculated stabs, trying to hit the 9 cents, the 12 cents, the 20 cents to the upside or downside, mostly upside. That's a philosophy of mine. I know that the overall vibration is better around people who want people to do good, and for shit to go up. To me, it doesn't matter short term if you know what the 10-year yield does. I just think people who want downside, they're a different breed. Nothing wrong with them, not hating. My speciality, as you know, is trying to sniff out where the price is gonna go. I do it really well. I will continue to do it really well. Okay, and even get better at it. We've been dealing with the VIX. Now, I told you guys before all the Twitter posts started coming out that he was going to replicate this exactly, because markets follow patterns. Okay, what gets in between you and the pattern? Your bias. Leave your bias at the door. How do you do that? I'm an upside trader. I know that my max window to make a shit ton of money is anywhere between 4 to 9 days. Okay, if I'm still making money on the 9th day, you would think at this point in time, hey, maybe you should chill. Okay, then there's the guy, and this is just from the beginning of the month where I showed you this setup, right? So I know I've been waiting on this. This is the Santa rally. Why is it the Santa rally? If you've traded for years, you know that the Santa rally is always early. Nobody catches it. and then they will sell you fool's gold later on and call this the center rally or that the center rally, but this is the center rally, right? Okay, so now we're halfway through, best case. So tomorrow, and I know this is long and this is a little market analysis but who cares? I mean, I just do this because I think that the better we are as a collective, the better we are, the longer we can do this, then the more successful we will be. And I tell you all the extra stuff always because I am only human. I cannot remember everything. And a great example of it, and again, shout out to Timbo and his Beyond Meat call. But why is it important to trade as a group? Tell me about the soccer team who had one dude on it. Tell me about the racing. They always remember the F1 champion. Well, he wouldn't fucking be there, right, without the team. Okay. When we were dropping out of the fucking sky, right? How did and I caught this 848% trade that then the runners ran 1600. I started buying them, not because we pierced the Bollinger Band, but I got an alert and I was like, what the fuck's the alert about? And Timbo's like, it's the ghost, it's the ghost. Okay, so just goes to same thing here, like goes to show that you can't remember anything. That's why these videos are very important. We go through stuff, we mark stuff, this and that. So something that stood out to me on Friday that no one noticed, I noticed it, was this candle had no news and it marked something. So this on Friday is going to be either your target or your gateway above. If it's the gateway above, this is your target. Okay, that can be the gateway or resistance. That's it, easy. Friday I showed you, or Thursday I think, oh, we arrived at our old destination, but we've been over it. Okay, so now let's go back to this path. Max fuckery melt up, a little bit more, chop around, then go. Look, we still have a target here that needs to be retested. At this point in time, if you get 6700 again on FOMC or some bullshit like that, buy it. It's going to make an inverted head and shoulders. The question here is, are we going to two scoop? Worst case scenario, we still have our down target here, right? That we can really close to. It might be satisfied. That would make this a double bottom. Either way, this results in SPX 7000. Guaranteed, in my opinion. Okay, why? This fucker hasn't even started up yet, and I know it's going to 330. Okay, a little bit of gamma. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay, let's check some SPY gamma. What do we got going on? 685. Yeah, 684, 685 overblown target. You're already starting to see what's that guy. So that's 710 is already peaking there. That is close enough to my 712 price target. 680. Yeah, you need over that, and then you're golden. 682. Yeah, I mean the setup's definitely there. Okay, so again, then I'll do a market analysis. I'll recap all of this. It's gonna be a crazy week next week with FOMC. I do want to alert you that this mega ripper is not gonna go. We could get like Friday up, Monday a little bit more, but then this is already like has pierced this Bollinger Band here to the upside and is going to need to retrace a little bit. Then we're gonna chop for a while, and then it's full moon time. All right, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate all of you. Hopefully I got you pumped, because I know you can do it. Okay, I know you can do it. If you're having and I'm not claiming that I always trade perfect. I know what a mental battle it can be, and it is, but it is also very rewarding. And we're gonna have a half day, talk a lot of shit, see if any of our YOLOs grind up there, and then we're gonna approach the new week fully fresh. And again, if brought to you here early before Twitter, if this guy crosses 61, it's a Zweig breadth thrust and you go crazy. Where's the evidence? The evidence is here and here. Okay, see you tomorrow.